Good afternoon. This is Akashvani and I am Abhishek Mukhopadhyay with the Midday News. The headlines. India to celebrate 23rd August as National Space Day, announces Prime Minister Narendra Modi, congratulates and interacts with ISRO scientists in Bengaluru. Chandrayaan-3 landing site on Moon named by Prime Minister Modi as Shivshakti Point. Chandrayaan-2 lander crash spot to be known as Tiranga Point. Prime Minister calls upon the G20 nations to make culture a driving force for sustainable development, social inclusion and global harmony. In Tamilnadu, 10 persons killed in a private party booked railway coach fire at Madurai this morning. Heavy to very heavy rainfall likely to continue over northeast India and adjoining Sub Himalayan West Bengal to the next 2 days. And in cricket, Indian women's visually challenged team to take on Australia in the finals of the IBSA World Games 2023 this evening in Birmingham. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has made major announcements during his address to the ISRO scientists in Bengaluru today. He has announced that the site where Vikram lander and rover Pragyan landed on the lunar surface will be named as Shivshakti Point.
स्पेस मिशंस के टच डाउन पॉइंट को एक नाम दिए जाने की वैज्ञानिक परंपरा है। चंद्रमा के जिस हिस्से पर हमारा चंद्रयान उतरा है, भारत ने उस स्थान के भी नामकरण का फैसला लिया है। जिस स्थान पर चंद्रयान 3 का मून लैंडर उतरा है, अब उस पॉइंट को शिव शक्ति के नाम से जाना जाए। शिव में मानवता के कल्याण का संकल्प समाहित है और शक्ति से हमें उन संकल्पों को पूरा करने का सामर्थ्य मिलता है.
Another site on the moon where Chandrayaan-2 lander crash landed will be known as Tiranga Point. The Prime Minister said that Shiv Shakti Point will remind the world about Shiv, that is devoting oneself to the welfare of mankind, and Shakti, that gives inherent strength to accomplish that will inclined towards the good of mankind.
हमने प्रण लिया कि जब चंद्रयान 3 सफलतापूर्वक चांद पर पहुंचेगा, तब हम दोनों पॉइंट का नाम एक साथ रखेंगे। और आज मुझे लगता है कि जब हर घर तिरंगा है, जब हर मन तिरंगा है और चांद पर भी तिरंगा है, तो तिरंगा के सिवाय चंद्रयान 2 से जुड़े उस स्थान को और क्या नाम दिया जा सकता है। इसलिए चंद्रमा के जिस स्थान पर चंद्रयान 2 ने अपने पदचिन्ह छोड़े हैं, वो पॉइंट अब तिरंगा कहलाएगा.
The Prime Minister also announced that August 23rd will be celebrated as National Space Day. It was on this day that the ISRO Chandrayaan mission made history by landing near the South Pole of the Moon. The Prime Minister said that on this day, a scientific and technological progress will be celebrated.
23 अगस्त को जब भारत ने चंद्रमा पर तिरंगा फहराया, उस दिन को अब हिंदुस्तान नेशनल स्पेस डे के रूप में मनाया जाएगा. जब हर वर्ष नेशनल स्पेस डे साइंस, टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेशन की स्पिरिट को सेलिब्रेट करेगा, हमें हमेशा हमेशा के लिए प्रेरित करता रहेगा.
The Prime Minister also suggested that the National Hackathon must be organized by the central, state governments and universities on ideas that will ensure good governance and find solutions to problems. He also announced a national quiz program on Chandrayaan-3 through MyGov portal. He called upon researchers to study our ancient scriptures and disclose to the world the vast knowledge that our ancestors had on astrology and astronomy. After meeting scientists at ISRO in Bengaluru this morning, Prime Minister Narendra Modi reached New Delhi in the afternoon. Hundreds of people and BJP workers, including ministers, MPs and MLAs, welcomed him at the airport. BJP President Jagat Prakash Nadda felicitated Mr. Modi for his successful visit to South Africa and Greece and for the success of Chandrayaan-3. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Modi said the 21st century is driven by technology.
हमें नई पीढ़ी को भी विज्ञान की तरफ आकर्षित करना है। 21वीं सदी टेक्नोलॉजी ड्रिवन है और दुनिया में वही देश आगे बढ़ने वाला है जिसकी साइंस और टेक्नोलॉजी में महारत होगी। और इसलिए समय की मांग है कि 2047 में हमारे देश को विकसित भारत बनाने के सपने को पार करने के लिए हमें साइंस और टेक्नोलॉजी की राह पर और अधिक मजबूती से आगे बढ़ना है।
The Prime Minister said that when we achieve some success, we resolve to prepare for new heights. He said that at the BRICS summit, people from across the world congratulated him on Chandrayaan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today called upon the G20 nations to make collective efforts for a future where culture is not just a part of identity, but a driving force for sustainable development, social inclusion and global harmony. He was virtually addressing the Culture Ministers meeting of G20 in Varanasi. In his opening remarks, the Prime Minister said that in a world rich with diversity, the shared cultural heritage is a thread that binds the world.
Cultural heritage is not just what is cast in stone. It is also the traditions, customs and festivals that are handed down the generations. I am confident that your efforts will foster sustainable practice and lifestyles. We believe that heritage is a vital asset for economic growth and diversification.
Welcoming the delegates to one of the oldest cities on earth and his parliamentary constituency Varanasi, Mr. Modi stated that as the eternal city by the Ganges, Varanasi captures the confluence of culture, arts and traditions, making it a fitting backdrop for this meeting. The Culture Ministers meeting of G20 in Varanasi is discussing the cultural ministerial declaration which will be announced at the end of the meeting. Union Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Youth Affairs and Sports, Anurag Singh Thakur and Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, released books based on speeches of Prime Minister Narendra Modi titled Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas at the Kushabhau Thackeray International Convention Centre in Bhopal today. This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. In Tamilnadu, 10 persons were killed and 7 injured in a fire which broke out in a private party-booked railway coach stabled at Madurai yard at 5:15 a.m. today. A total of 65 passengers of a private party were travelling from Lucknow to Rameshwaram and were on their way back when the incident occurred. The train arrived at Madurai and the party coach was detached and parked at Madurai stabling line for further travel. 7 passengers who were injured were shifted to a hospital immediately. An ex-gratia of 10 lakh rupees has been announced for the families of the deceased. A detailed investigation has been ordered. The Dean of the Madurai Government Hospital said that the bodies were kept in the mortuary for identification and further procedures. The Southern Railway has set up 2 helplines following today's incident, 9360552608 and 8015681915. President Draupadi Murmu has expressed grief over the tragic loss of lives in a fire accident in a stationary train near Madurai Junction in Tamil Nadu. She expressed condolences to the bereaved families and prayed for the speedy recovery of the injured. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar said his thoughts go out to the grieving families who have lost loved ones in the tragic fire incident at the Madurai railway station. He conveyed condolences and prayed for the speedy recovery of the injured. Home Minister Amit Shah said he is saddened by the tragic fire accident on a train in Madurai. He expressed condolences to the families of those who lost their loved ones. He also prayed for the speedy recovery of the injured. Reserve Bank Governor Shaktikanta Das has asked non-banking financial companies, NBFCs, including housing finance companies, to strengthen governance standards and assurance mechanisms. The RBI Governor held a meeting with the MD and CEOs of select large non-banking financial companies, NBFCs, including government NBFCs and housing finance companies, HFCs, in Mumbai yesterday. These entities constitute nearly 50% of the total assets of all NBFCs, including HFCs. In Madhya Pradesh, Governor Mangubhai Patel administered the oath of office and secrecy to 3 ministers in a brief ceremony held at Raj Bhavan in Bhopal today. The ministers who took oath include Gauri Shankar Bisen, Rajendra Shukla and Rahul Singh Lodhi. Electioneering is gaining momentum for the by-polls to Dhanpur and Boxanagar Legislative Assembly seats in Tripura, scheduled for the 5th of next month. The results of the by-elections will be announced on the 8th of next month. Minister for Road Transport and Highways Nitin Gadkari has expressed confidence that before the end of this year, the logistics cost will come down to 9% from 40% currently, and India will be more competitive in the international market for export. He was addressing an event organized by Media House in New Delhi today. Talking about road safety, Mr. Gadkari said the government is taking all preventive measures of international standards from signage to marking. Terming the situation as alarming, the minister said, India stands at the number 1 position in road accidents in the world. He added that the government is educating people, especially youth and children, on road safety. A hybrid roadshow in Mumbai was organized by the Directorate General of Shipping and the Shipping Corporation of India, SCI, yesterday as a precursor to the Global Maritime India Summit, GMIS, which is going to be held in New Delhi from the 17th to the 19th of October 2023. Addressing the event virtually, Minister of State for Ports, Shipping and Waterways, Shripad Yesso Naik, said that the summit will serve as a global platform for showcasing best practices and enhancing partnerships. India Meteorological Department has predicted heavy to very heavy rainfall in northeast India and adjoining Sub Himalayan West Bengal during the next 2 days. It said heavy rainfall is expected in Bihar today. The weatherman said subdued rainfall activity is likely over the rest of the country during the next week. It said heavy rainfall can occur in South Konkan and Goa today and tomorrow. Siswan in the Siwan district of Bihar recorded the highest 17 centimeters of rainfall. Longding in Arunachal Pradesh recorded 16 centimeters of rainfall. Veteran lyricist Dev Kohli, who penned over 100 songs for Bollywood films like Rajkumar, Hema Malini Stara, Lal Patthar 1971, Bazigar, Hum Aapke Hai Kaun and Maine Pyar Kiya, passed away today. He was 80. Dev Kohli's Antim Darshan will be held today afternoon in Mumbai. His last rites will be performed in the evening at Jogeshwari in Mumbai. Niger's military leadership expelled the French ambassador Sylvain It and asked him to leave the country within 48 hours as bilateral ties continue to deteriorate rapidly. The junta of an African country said Sylvain It had refused to respond to an invitation to resolve the crisis. On the other hand, Foreign Minister of France has said the Putschists have no authority to order such an expulsion. Paris opposes July's coup, saying that ousted President Mohamed Bazoum must be returned to office. In cricket, the Indian women's visually challenged team will meet Australia in the finals of the International Blind Sports Federation IBSA World Games 2023 this evening in Birmingham. India has already qualified for the finals when the women in blue defeated England by 153 runs to end the league stage in style. India has 12 points from 4 games, while both England and Australia have 3 points each. However, by its net run rate, Australia has surpassed England to become the second finalist of the tournament. In badminton, India's ace shuttler Ajaz Pranoy has stormed into the semi-finals of the BWF World Championships and secured a medal for the country. He registered a brilliant win in the quarter-final, beating world champion Danish shuttler Victor Axelsen 13-21, 21-15, 21-16 in the men's singles at the Royal Arena in Copenhagen, Denmark. The world number 9 Pranoy will face world number 3 Thailand's Kunlavut Vidit Sarn in the semi-finals today. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India to celebrate 23rd August as National Space Day, announces Prime Minister Narendra Modi, congratulates and interacts with ISRO scientists in Bengaluru. Chandrayaan-3 landing site on the moon named by Prime Minister Modi as Shivshakti Point. Chandrayaan-2 lander crash spot to be known as Tiranga Point. Prime Minister calls upon the G20 nations to make culture a driving force for sustainable development, social inclusion and global harmony. In Tamilnadu, 10 persons killed in a private party booked railway coach fire at Madurai this morning. Heavy to very heavy rainfall likely to continue over northeast India and adjoining Sub Himalayan West Bengal during the next 2 days. And in cricket, Indian women's visually challenged team to take on Australia in the finals of the IBSA World Games 2023 this evening in Birmingham.